Hey everyone, it's Michelle Metzner and welcome to this tutorial on creating Dropbox assignments and linking them to turnitin.com and making rubrics in the Canvas learning management system. So let's get started. When you first log into your Canvas system, you're going to end up here on the dashboard, and this is where you will see all of your published courses and your unpublished courses. Right now you can tell that I've got 2 unpublished courses. We're going to go ahead and hop into this one on the left in blue just by clicking on it. Once we're into our Canvas system, we are placed on the home page, and here you can see I've got some content in terms of lecture PowerPoints and some exercises. And what we want to do is Canvas does not use a traditional like Dropbox like you would see in D2L. There's not a dedicated Dropbox. The Dropbox is created when you create your assignment, okay? Just like the gradebook item for your assignment is automatically created when you create the assignment, okay? So let's go ahead and get into our assignments area. So if we go into the course navigation menu and click on assignments, you will see here that I've got 4 groups, and each of the groups has its own assignment in it, okay? So right now, I want to go into our exercises group, and I want to add an assignment to it, okay? So to add an assignment, we'll go ahead and click on this plus sign right here next to, or in the exercises bar. So I'm going to click plus. And this takes us to our add assignments to exercises area, okay? So we want to choose the type, and this is going to be an assignment. So it's not going to be a discussion or a quiz or an external tool or anything like that. It's just going to be an assignment. I'm going to name this exercise 3.1, and I'm going to make this due on Friday the 24th. Okay. Now you'll notice that the time that it's due defaults to 11:59 p.m. If you want to change that default time, you would do so down here at the bottom of the calendar. Just make sure that you are setting it for appropriately for either AM or PM. I'm fine with it being due at 11:59 p.m., so I'm just going to click done to set that. And then I'm going to set the number of points for this assignment. And the number of points is going to be 20. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on more options. Okay, and when I click on more options, it gives me my assignment name, but it also gives me a large box in which I can write instructions, okay, for the assignment. And as we scroll down, I can see that our points are set to 20 because I did that in the previous screen. It's in the assignment group exercises, which again was on the previous screen. In terms of display grade as, I want to go ahead and make this points, but you have the option to make it percentage, complete or incomplete, a letter grade, a GPA scale, or not even graded at all, okay? But again, I'm going to go ahead and leave it at points. You can also choose not to count the assignment toward the final grade right here. I'm going to leave that unchecked. And then, this is important when we get to submission type. Okay, click this drop-down menu because remember, we want this connected to turnitin.com, right? And so you would think instinctually that you want this to be an online assignment, like you want it turned in online. You do not. Instead, you want to go to the external tool and click on that. And then you want to click on find the external tool. So we're going to click on find. And when we do that, a little list comes up. Now, because I am using the free version of Canvas right now, Turnitin is not linked to this version of Canvas, but this is where you would find the Turnitin tool, okay? And when you click on it, the URL for turnitin.com will show up right here, and then you would click select. When you click select, you get some options that come up. Okay, and this is just a screenshot of some options that I pulled off of a different video. Okay. Um, so you would need to set your your submission settings. Okay. And so it asks where you want to submit papers to. You can allow submissions of any file type if you want to. You can allow late submissions if you want to. You can enable grammar check. You can attach a rubric if you want to. You can also compare the papers against, like choose what the papers are compared against. So if you wanted the student paper repository, current and archived website content, or periodical and journals publications, you would make the appropriate checks right there. And then as you scroll down the page, okay, you will get to the similarity report. And so you can do that immediately, or you can have it delayed if you want to, which is mentioned in this drop-down menu here. You can also allow students to view the similarity reports. You can exclude bibliographic materials if you want to. You can also exclude quoted materials and exclude small sources if you want to. Those, it just depends on, you know, your assignment and what your parameters are. And then this is nice. Down here under additional settings, you can save the settings for future use. So you don't have to keep going through all of this, okay, every time you set up an assignment. So once you're done with this, you would just hit, there's a submit button that you would just hit submit. And after you hit submit, it will take you back to this screen, okay? And you can, if you want, you can do anonymous grading. You can assign the assignment to everyone or just to certain students. And again, you can set up a due date. So we've got the March 24th at 11:59, and then you need to set up your availability. Okay, so this is going to be available from today, and then it's going to be available until March 24th at 11:59. And then we can go ahead and hit save and publish. Okay. If you don't want it published right now, you can just hit save, but I don't mind having most of my materials available for students immediately, so I'm going to go ahead and hit save and publish. And once we do that, you will see up here that the assignment has been published. Okay. And if we go back to assignments, we will see that exercise 13.1 appears in the exercises group. So now that we have our exercises done, we want to go ahead and create a rubric. Right? So we come over here to the course navigation menu and click on rubrics. And you'll see right now that we don't have a rubric in here. So I'm just going to go in the upper right hand corner and click on the plus add rubric box. And this brings up the rubric area. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and call this exercise 3.1 rubric. Okay, so this is going to be applied just to exercise 3.1. Then you will see that we have three columns. We have the criteria column, we have the ratings column, and we have the points column. We need to define or describe our criteria, and we do so just by clicking on this, and then we will give a criterion description. We're going to call this one editing principles. And then if I want to give a longer description, which I would explain what all was involved in the editing principles. Okay, so this could be things like cutting out the fat, avoiding long lead-ins, avoiding run-ons, things like that. And I would put that in the long description. And so when I'm done, I'm just going to hit update criterion. So before we get into ratings, I want to alert you to this little thing right here called range, okay, under the criteria box. And watch what happens to the points value of the ratings when I click range. Okay, so you'll see that the ratings now is 5 to 0 points. Okay, and I'm good with that. I like having a bit of a range to work with instead of absolutes. So I'm going to leave this like this. And I want to edit what some of the wording here. So I'm going to click this little pencil. And I'm going to leave the rating scores 5 to 0, but I'm going to make this A because I tend to go by A, B, C, D. So the institutional grading system there. And then in the rating description, that's where I'm going to describe what constitutes an A on this editing principles criteria. Okay. And so I'll give a description here. There we go. And I'm going to update the rating. And then you'll see I only have 2 ratings categories, either A or F. Okay. That's not great. So we're going to click this button right here. Okay. And we're going to make this a B. And again, I'm going to say description of what constitutes a B for editing principles. And I'm going to update the rating. Okay. And then I need to do the same thing for C. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing for D. Okay, so in the ratings, we've got our categories, right? So A, B, C, D, and then I can always edit this and make it an F if I want to. Okay, and I'll update that rating. So as you can see, criterion number 1 is worth 5 points. To add other criteria, you would just click the plus criterion button right here, and you'll see we can go ahead and duplicate editing principles, okay? And we'll just give it a new description. Let's call this formatting. And then give a longer description and then update it. And you'll see we have editing principles and we have formatting. And then we have all of our ranges, okay? And then when we're done, we want to make sure we should probably add 2 more criteria here just to total the 20 points. When we're done, though, we'll go ahead and click on here to create rubric. And then you'll see that we have our rubric created. Okay, so we have our rubric right here. Now what we need to do is we need to apply that rubric to an assignment. So we're going to go back here in the course navigation menu to assignments. And we're going to find exercise 3.1 in the exercises group and just click on it. And then right here, you'll see you can add a rubric. So we're going to click this plus rubric right here. And then we are going to find a rubric. And we have the exercise 3.1 rubric right here. And now we have the rubric attached. Okay. So that was just a real quick and dirty about how to create Dropbox assignments and link them to Turnitin and make a rubric and link that to an assignment in the Canvas learning management system. As always, if you have any questions, please email me at michelle.metzner@wright.edu and I'll be happy to answer them. Until next time.